It is Soka Tano Thursday mid-morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. This morning, let us play with the very latest iteration of very easy meditation. We start with the first of 4 phases of mindful crease counting. Over the span of 4 inhalations, we can advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply that by 4 and you get, multiply that by 8 and you get 96. So on our left hand, we count those sets. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. To keep track of this, our first of 4 phases, we rest the great knuckle at the base of the right little finger upon the tip of the left little finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Come, let us demystify enlightenment. What if enlightenment was not something difficult or weird or spooky or magical and only for special people? What if it was simply mastering Gautama Buddha's Eightfold Path? But what do we mean by mastery? What if mastery was simply getting so good at something that we were able to practice it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively? So this Eightfold Path of which I speak, there's a secret trick. Master, if you prioritize the mindfulness and meditation of the 7th fold and the 8th fold, then the remaining 6 folds take care of themselves automatically. Therefore, I think it is very important to, at least momentarily, view mindfulness and meditation through the lens of neuroscience after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Please chant with me. The unity of the octuple couple sporting and tantric union reminds us of the vulnerability so crucial to mindfulness. Sturgeon's Law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks. That's a little vague. Since the Neolithic Revolution, society has been conditioning all of us to be so rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel that we actually denigrate the minority who strive to rebel against that conditioning and instead be flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. Therefore, it should come as little surprise that the majority of meditation teachers are so rigid and so controlling that they advise their students to actively focus and actively analyze. Now, yes, they could give them all sorts of interesting English synonyms or poly terms, but the only parts of our brain capable of focus or analysis are the discrete pathways found in regions such as the medial or dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. When we overtrain those areas, we trigger our amygdala, which functions as the seat of anxiety and aggression. But I've got some good news for you. Neither the amygdala nor the prefrontal cortex are the only two components of our central nervous system. So we're going to talk about some other components that can help us out. Let's begin with mindfulness. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we are already wired to automatically notice our sympathetic nervous system, which can be found in the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. But notice what? To notice mind's antics of perception. Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Now, not only could we notice that, but we could also notice that there are some things we desire and other things we dread. And in addition to that, we can notice that we tend to resist the absence of what we desire. And we tend to resist the presence of what we dread. Now, that seems like a lot of stuff going on. Is there a simple way to practice it? Yes, there is. Silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during your inhalation. And you will gently nudge your cerebral cortex into cooperation with your sympathetic nervous system. And now, let's give you a simple application during your exhalation. The easiest way to practice meditation is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. That will help with releasing our resistance that I mentioned a few minutes ago, our resistance to the absence of what we desire, as well as our resistance to the presence of what we dread. Now, releasing that resistance doesn't mean it goes away, but it means it controls our choices, utterance, and deeds less and less and less. So together, as a team, let us meditate right now. Welcome aboard, and you've joined us in time for the second of 4 phases of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we can advance our thumb in the following manner. Beginning with our little finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you multiply this by 8, you get 96. So we take care of the sets on our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 8 inhalations each. To keep track of this, our second phase, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Please chant with me. The translucence of the all-good Father and Mother depicted in paintings reminds us of meditation's experience of impermanence and non-graspability. The translucence of the all-good Father and Mother depicted in paintings reminds us of meditation's experience of impermanence and non-graspability. The translucence of the all-good Father and Mother depicted in paintings reminds us of meditation's experience of impermanence and non-graspability. So, quick review. The most efficient way to practice mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun during our inhalation, thus helping us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly in harmony with our sympathetic nervous system. And yes, we do notice perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. But what are we to do with that which we notice? That brings us to meditation, which we're going to explore through the metaphoric lens of neuroscience. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to cooperate with our parasympathetic nervous system, which is divided between the lower third of our spinal cord as well as the upper third. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. And I'd like to go into this in greater detail. So I want to do some graphics right now, but that's probably unfair. So I'll just explain it to you verbally. As we relax into our exhalation, we wind up viscerally releasing that which we noticed during our previous inhalation, as if that which we noticed was as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Now, any good English teacher will remind us that a simile is only as effective as it is relatable. Therefore, we have to ask the question, what? What is a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? And the answer is quite simple. Consider the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could be tantalizing to the eye, is most certainly non-graspable to the hand. And so there you have it. By simply playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so, viscerally, what we experienced during our previous inhalation could seem literally impermanent and figuratively empty. And so we see that mastery, the effortless mastery of the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path is the product of playing with the mindfulness and meditation comprising the seventh and eighth folds of Gautama Buddha's Eightfold Path. So, together as a team, let us now practice mindfulness and meditation for several moments. L'chaim. We come now to the third of 4 phases of mindful crease counting. Over the span of 4 inhalations, we could advance our thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply that by 8 and you've got 96. We count the sets, therefore, on our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each for a total of 96. Since this is our third phase, we're going to keep track by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently coalesce, doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. Please chant with me. Oh yes, before I forget, I need to take care of something. Oopsie, there we go. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, thank you for your patience. Please chant with me 3 times. The beauty of sky blue kuntu zongpo and cloud white kuntu zongmo yam yam remind us of the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived. The beauty of sky blue kuntu zongpo and cloud white kuntu zongmo yam yam remind us of the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived. The beauty of sky blue kuntu zongpo and cloud white kuntu zongmo yam yam remind us of the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived. So I think it's a good idea to create a visual aid. Okay, well, thank you for hanging out with me. Now let's continue. So, quick review. We've already discussed that the essence of mindfulness can be practiced by silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, thus helping us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly whatever crosses our field of perception. Whatever crosses our field of awareness, be it perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, or imagination. Hey, let's see. Dungeon Architect. Oh, we have a D&D aficionado here. Welcome aboard. Or perhaps I should say, greetings, weary traveler, in a weird, obscure accent. Okay, let's continue. So, the essence of meditation is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation, thus helping us to release what it is we noticed during our previous inhalation. Now, let's talk about love. And if you're a fan of The Princess Bride, it's pronounced wov, to wov, cherish your wov. The late Tukul Tundip insisted that the highest love, the most spiritually productive love, is not the product of active concentration or active analysis. Although he wasn't an aficionado of neuroscience, today we understand the reason why. It's because doing so triggers our triggers our amygdala, which is the seat of anxiety and aggression. So, cool thing number one, by playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so, number one, we calm our amygdalas. We calm our anxieties and aggressions, tendencies to control our choices and utterances and deeds. Number two, by playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so, we stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, this thing that kind of looks like a fuchsia-colored letter C. This bad boy functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, which is the root of both compassion and love. This is exactly why Tukul Tundip insisted that the highest love was spontaneous and uncontrived. This comes in handy because 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path pertains to loving kindness, to kind intention, to kind communication, to kind conduct, and to commerce that is as cooperative as it is kind. So together, as a team, let us meditate right now. And remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or their application, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. We come now to the fourth and final phase of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we can advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply that by 4 and you've got 48, which you can count on your left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. We can keep track of this final phase by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the crown region of our head. Please chant with me. The stability with which Samanta Mandara sits, and the abandon with which cloud white Samanta Mandari sports, reminds us of the effortless effort of centered spontaneity. The stability with which sky blue Samanta Mandara sits, and the abandon with which cloud white Samantha Bandari sports, reminds us of the effortless effort of centered spontaneity. The stability with which cloud blue Samantha Bandara sits, and the abandon with which cloud white Samantha Bandari sports, reminds us of the effortless effort of centered spontaneity. Quick reminder that the most efficient way to practice mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, that we might notice venerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. And the most efficient way to practice meditation is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation, that we might physically relax and mentally release. Doing so, practicing mindfulness and meditation approximately once every 12 hours or so, we could notice that our choices, utterances, and deeds begin to flow from the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity. No, not the scattered spontaneity we experience after our 5th espresso, but the centered spontaneity that we experience after training or playing with mindfulness and meditation. This effortless effort could be likened to surfing our Buddha nature, but what do we mean by that? Buddha nature is a term used in the Iron Age. It refers to what we now understand in the digital age as follows. Every living human has a sympathetic nervous system, which is the seat of mindfulness. Every human has a parasympathetic nervous system, the seat of meditation. Every healthy human has an anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of empathy. Therefore, practice mastering the Buddha's Eightfold Path, which is comprised of 50% empathy, and which flows from mindfulness and meditation. This mastery is possible for the majority of living beings, simply because of the happy coincidence of evolutionary biology. So together, as a team, let us meditate for right now. And please remember, the moment you have a specific question about chanting or meditating or philosophy, please type your question in great detail in the chat window. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 7 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.